I really need stuff for my hair, but we're wearing the same shirt.
Mine's pressed at least. I'm Steven.
And I'm Kevin.
In today's episode of the Steven and Kevin Show,
we're going to give you 3 tips for prospecting during this volatility. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 88 of the Steven and Kevin Show. And today we're going to be talking about prospecting during volatility. This is a wild time, right? And a time that many of us have never seen before, but there also presents an opportunity for financial advisors right now.
So when you're thinking about your course of action, right now matters more than ever. This is where you shine as a financial professional. So we want to talk today about how to make the most of this opportunity while keeping your arms firmly around your dear clients. Now, this is a shorter snippet than what you'll find in our Learning Center. We're rolling out a brand new course in the Learning Center called Prospecting in Times of Crisis. It's a deeper dive into 5 strategies you can use to go out and find some new business in times like this.
Yeah, I mean, people are having conversations right now about, obviously, their health, more so than ever before in the current virus and COVID-19. And they're also having more conversations right now than ever before on the market, right, on their investments. And that presents an opportunity for advisors.
Yeah, so you could look at a time of social distancing and say, well, all of the focus should be on social media, on video. Certainly a huge amount of focus goes on those things. We're not going to cover either of those today. We'll cover that in a later episode. Today we're going to talk more about social prospecting opportunities, which sounds like a total oxymoron. But I think it'll make sense as we go through today. Let's say as a precursor to all this, we know that right now there's a lot going on, and public health is of utmost concern for most everybody out there. So we don't want to lose sight of that. And we don't want to lose sight of the fact that right now your clients need more reassurance than ever. We just got off a webinar, and the top 3 comments right out of the gate is, where do we find some time for prospecting in light of the fact that we're spending so much time on the phones and on webinars with our clients?
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about, we're going to kind of have 3 different buckets that we talk about today in terms of opportunities, social prospecting wise. The first bucket is current friends and family, right? How do we reach out to them and have conversations that could eventually turn into some opportunities? And our first thought is, the first and foremost is we want to have a conversation around the health side of it. I think you could come across insensitive if you're calling friends and family and you're just jumping right into the investment piece, right? And the volatility. You need to be saying, how are you doing right now? Just wanted to check in with you.
Right? Yeah. Think about how we often recommend social prospecting. We say, get out there, network, be seen, all things that are not happening right now. So how would business transpire in those circles? Where you'd be out and about, and somebody might ask you a question about what's happening in the markets. Right now, if health permitted, we'd all be out there and those conversations would be everywhere. Now we have to go looking for those conversations by phone. How do we get there? Oftentimes, if you're thinking about someone you know socially who has money, it might be the call that Kevin described, which is a proactive outreach to say, how are you faring right now? Are you homeschooling? Is everybody feeling okay? Talk to me about what's going on. How are things at your work? And you know what's going to happen. Number 1, they appreciate the call because you're showing some concern. But number 2, they're going to return the favor. They're going to ask you questions about how things are going in your life because they know not only are you dealing with the health side of it, you're in the world of financial advice and the markets have been all over the place.
And I think that's a good point. So as you're making these calls, they're going to reciprocate the questions, right? So you need to be ready to respond and not say, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Well, I've never seen, this is just, we're hectic right now. We want to be saying, no, you know what, this is for us, this is where we help people right now. Like, this is our time to kind of step in, and we're helping a ton of people. We're being as productive as we can in this environment. Like, that's the message you want to be sending.
So what you're able to do if you're good about it, and if the right opportunity is there, is to, when you're talking to somebody you're friends with and you're asking how they're holding up and they ask you in return, you're able to conversationally shift gears. You're able to talk about how things are going at work in a really productive way. Here's what we're focused on right now. And if the right opportunity is there, don't be afraid to shift gears and be assertive in offering your services. Hey, I should also mention, we've been offering a lot of investment advice to friends of ours right now because people aren't sure what's going on in their portfolios, how to stay safe, where to find opportunities. I mean, would you find it valuable to have a conversation about that?
Yeah.
Are you open to talking with me about investments?
Yeah, or I'd like to extend that. We're finding ourselves meeting with a lot of friends and family right now, and reviewing what they're doing and making sure that there's no unnecessary risk in their portfolio. I'd love to offer you the same courtesy.
Yeah, it takes a
And
little bit
stop,
of courage,
right?
right?
And stop.
But in this case, you're doing it by phone. It's not as scary as doing it in person. And if you think about it, it is you really doing a service for the community, right? You are the community finance expert. By offering yourself up to other people, it's not frowned upon. It's seen as a helpful gesture if we do it right. So that first bucket is friends and family members who you think might need some reassurance, who you think could be good clients of yours.
Second, let's talk about past prospects, right? So this could be, someone that is on your, at Oxley, we have a way for categorizing how we, track prospects. We call them periodics, people who it wasn't the right time right then, and they didn't move forward with you, but they were in your pipeline at some point. And now we can revisit those opportunities. I had a coaching call with one of my clients, and it was a quick call. It was like a 10-minute call on Monday. And he said, Kevin, on Saturday, I was just calling up all my past prospects. And man, I have some meetings going on. He said, this is opportunity right now.
Yeah. And that call doesn't have to be a direct approach right out of the gate.
Again,
hey, this is me just checking in, want to see if you want to move forward with us. The call is just to check in. But specifically from an investment standpoint. So this call, you don't have to have as much personal check-in. Some of that is nice. But the more direct question is, hey, I know we've talked before about the markets and some of your investments. I'm just curious, how are you holding up? Are you making any moves right now?
Yeah, and if you haven't heard from your advisor, you should be reaching out to them, right?
So past prospect list, even over the last year to 2 years, when the smooth sailing has been there, they might not have had a need. They might have a need for you now.
So third bucket is current clients, right? And first and foremost with current clients, especially with some of our top clients, we want to be knowing what's going on in their portfolio. We want to be reaching out to them with any recommendations, if there are any, right? We want to be personal with that approach. So that is obviously, as you're reaching out, that is like the main objective with these calls to your clients, right? Is I'm on top of this and being a reassuring voice to them. And even saying, hey, what else can I do to kind of ease your worry right now? Like, what else can I do? And just be that type of person for them.
One question you might add is, as it relates to your investments, what's your level of concern right now on a 1 to 10 scale? With 1 being no concern whatsoever and 10 being I am on high alert.
I like that question.
And we asked that question for 2 reasons. We do want to uncover their state of emotion around all this. And let's hope you've done the legwork in advance to let people know that downturns will eventually happen. Nobody expected it to be at this level, I don't think, but we hope you've done some legwork there to where you don't have a lot of 9s and 10s in your client base. But also it gives you a chance to ask about the conversations they're having with friends. As we led into today's episode, we talked about the fact that people are having more conversations than ever about the economy, the markets, what's happening next.
Right.
And so we want to know, are they having conversations with other people who are 9s and 10s?
Yeah, exactly. And if they are, if you said, hey, well, are you I know who are you talking to about this, right? And then if are you dealing, or any of the people that you're talking to, are they a 9 or a 10? They're saying, yeah, my brother-in-law, man, he is really nervous, blah, blah, blah. He constantly is talking to me about it and is checking his online statement, every day, right? Can you connect me with him? Right? Do you think that would make sense for us to connect? By the way, that's the language, is like connect, right? Because it could be email, it could be a Zoom meeting, it could be, but can you connect me?
Yeah, one of the things to remember is you are so valuable right now. If you look at all the mistakes that people make in managing their own money right now, they need some reassurance. They need some help from somebody like you. So give yourself permission to take a breath at times, step away from the service aspect of, move forward into a really proactive marketing stance, and let's find some business here. So as you think about ways to leverage us for this, we're going to have some free resources for you as the weeks go on, and we sure hope you take advantage of some of those video scripts and articles and social media posts that we're giving away because we want you to have access to these. But also think about some of the other services that we offer. I mentioned that brand new course called Prospecting in Times of Crisis. It's going to be a huge help. It's in the Learning Center, and that's $99 a month.
It's a much more in-depth version of what we talked about today, essentially.
Also consider the video. We did our last Stephen and Kevin show on how to use video creatively.
Yes.
Now is the time for video. This is, I think, as far as we see it, this is the busiest our video program's ever been for a really good reason. People want to stay in touch with their clients. They want to be reassuring. Video happens to be a really captivating way of doing it.
Yeah, I mean, one of our clients is sending us messages saying that, from his clients saying like, this is so comforting to see your face and just to hear your take on everything right now. In a time of social distancing, you don't have to be silent. We want you to be a reassuring voice to your community.
And finally, when you think about ways to get the message out, social media is it. So if right now your current social media strategy is something really standard like, I've got some auto posts going out. Well, check on them because they might not be relevant.
They're tone deaf.
Even more, think about what campaigns you could be running to stay in touch with people who are literally sitting at home, scrolling through their phones. How do you put yourself in the palm of their hands? We can help with social media outsourcing.
Facebook is on fire right now.
For sure.
So, okay.
Thanks for joining, everyone.